The evening air is cool as I walk through the front door, the scent of lavender and baked bread welcoming me home. "Hey, honey," I call out, dropping my keys on the hallway table. "How was your day?" Emily looks up from the kitchen island, a warm smile lighting her face. "It was good. I decided to visit my mom after lunch. Needed some family time." I nod, the routine comforting after a long day. "Sounds nice. Dinner's almost ready." As the hours pass, I lose myself in work, the mundane tasks of my job at the marketing firm providing a temporary escape from the stress of daily life. The clock ticks toward midnight, and I finally decide to unwind, picking up the remote to watch some TV before bed. That's when I see her. The headline blares across the screen, "Modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, local couple arrested during robbery." My heart skips a beat. The footage shows Emily, unmistakable in her casual attire, being dragged by police into an ambulance alongside a man I don't recognize. Reporters crowd the scene, their voices overlapping with the flashing lights and chaos. I slam the remote down, my mind racing. "No," I whisper, feeling the world tilt beneath me. I grab my phone and call her, but it goes straight to voicemail. "Hey, it's me. Are you okay? Where are you?" No answer. Panic sets in as I try to process the images. "Emily?" Racing. But the silence answers back. The next day, the news replays the footage. Authorities have apprehended the couple accused of the midnight robbery at Central Mart. Neighbors describe them as a tight-knit duo, often seen together. I stare at the screen, disbelief clouding my thoughts. Determined to find answers, I drive to her mother's house. The neighborhood is quiet, the streets eerily still. I park and make my way to the modest home, heart pounding in my chest. Emily's mother, a kind-faced woman with worry etched into her features, opens the door. "John, what brings you here?" "I saw her on the news," I say, my voice shaking. "Emily, she was arrested." Her mother's eyes widen in shock. "Oh, darling, I had no idea. She didn't mention anything about this." I press her for details, but she offers nothing. Frustration boils inside me. I leave, unresolved and more confused than ever. Days turn into weeks as the story unfolds. A kind-faced woman with reveal that Emily and her accomplice, a man named Marcus, were charged with armed robbery. Interviews disclose that during the heist, Marcus was shot. Emily described him as her protector, claiming she never intended to hurt anyone. I can't shake the image of her being dragged away, the betrayal cutting deeper than any knife. Late nights are spent staring at our wedding photos, memories now tainted with deceit. One evening, fueled by anger and a desire for retribution, I start plotting. If she thought she could betray me without consequences, she's about to learn the price of trust broken. I delve into her life, uncovering secrets she kept hidden, meetings, unexplained absences, and financial discrepancies. Confrontation becomes inevitable. I track down Marcus, the man who shattered my world. Finding him is easier than I thought, his languishing in jail, bitterness simmering in his eyes. "Why did you do it?" I demand, standing outside the visiting hours room. Marcus smirks. "She chose the thrill over a stable life. You were just a backup plan." I grit my teeth, controlling the urge to lash out. "I'm not backing down. You both ruined everything." He laughs, a hollow sound. "Good luck trying to fix what's broken." As I leave, the resolve hardens within me. Emily's lies have ignited a fire I can't extinguish. Revenge isn't just a thought anymore, it's a necessity. I begin to meticulously plan, ensuring that every move I make brings her life crashing down just as hers did mine. The nights grow longer, filled with strategies and alliances I never imagined forming. Friends I thought I could trust now seem like potential threats. Every step forward is a step deeper into a darkness I once never knew existed. In the mirror, I barely recognize the man staring back. The reflection is haunted, eyes burning with a need for justice, or perhaps vengeance. Emily's betrayal has set off a chain reaction, and there's no turning back. As the chapter closes, I sit alone in the dimly lit room, the weight of my decision pressing down. The path I've chosen is fraught with danger and uncertainty, but one thing is clear: I won't rest until Emily pays for the life she destroyed. The first rays of dawn seep through the blinds as I wake, my mind still haunted by last night's plans. The remnants of sleep cling to me, but there's no time to rest. Today marks the beginning of my mission. I need to gather every piece of the puzzle Emily and Marcus left behind. I brew a strong cup of coffee, the bitter aroma cutting through the fog in my head. Sitting at the kitchen table, I spread out photos, documents, and notes I've collected over the past weeks. Each piece of evidence is a thread leading me closer to Emily's hidden life. My phone buzzes with a message from an unknown number. I know what you're looking for. Meet me at the old warehouse on 5th, midnight. No name, just a cryptic hint that someone else is involved. I hesitate for a moment, then decide to take the risk. Information is information, and if someone else can help me understand what happened that night, it's worth pursuing. I reply, keeping my message short, I'll be there. The day drags on, each minute feeling longer than the last. At work, my mind wanders to the impending meeting. My boss notices my distraction. Everything okay, John? I force a smile. Yeah, just a lot on my mind. As the clock strikes 6, I grab my jacket and head to the warehouse district. The streets are quieter now, the city settling into its nighttime rhythm. The old warehouse looms ahead, its windows dark and empty. I park a few blocks away, taking a moment to steady my nerves before approaching. I knock on the heavy metal door, the sound echoing through the vast, empty space. Moments later, the door creaks open, revealing a shadowy figure. You must be John, the person says, their voice low and gravelly. Who are you? I ask, stepping inside cautiously. They step forward into the faint light, revealing a woman in her late 20s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. Call me Sarah. I used to work with Marcus. My heart pounds. What do you know about Emily? Sarah glances around before speaking. Emily was never just a criminal. She had connections, powerful ones. Marcus was her partner, but she was the brains behind everything. The robbery was a diversion. She was planning something bigger. I absorb her words, the pieces starting to fit together. What are you planning to do with this information? She smirks. Help you take her down. But you need to be careful. Emily isn't the only one involved. Before I can respond, the sound of footsteps echoes through the warehouse. Panic spikes in my chest as a group of men emerge from the shadows, weapons drawn. Looks like we have company, Sarah whispers urgently. I instinctively reach for the small handgun I keep concealed, but Sarah grabs my arm. No time. Follow my lead. We dive behind a stack of crates as bullets ricochet around us. Stay low. Sarah hisses, pulling me into a narrow passageway. My heart races, adrenaline surging through my veins. This was supposed to be a meeting for information, not a shootout. One of the men approaches, his flashlight sweeping the area. Search the premises. They can't have gone far. Sarah pulls me deeper into the maze of the warehouse, leading us to a hidden exit. We emerge into the alleyway, breaths heavy, hearts pounding. The danger wasn't over, but we had escaped, for now. That was close, I say, trying to catch my breath. Sarah nods, her expression serious. Emily has eyes everywhere. If she suspects you're on her trail, she'll eliminate you without hesitation. I realize the gravity of the situation. What do we do now? She hands me a USB drive. This contains everything Marcus and I uncovered about Emily's operations. Financial records, contacts, plans. Use it wisely. But remember, you're dealing with someone who plays a long game. As she turns to leave, I call out, "Wait! How do I know I can trust you?" She pauses, looking back. Trust is a luxury you don't have right now. But consider this, if you want revenge, I can help you achieve it without becoming another victim. Before I can respond, Sarah disappears into the night, leaving me alone with the weight of the USB drive in my hand. I insert it into my laptop, the screen filling with files and documents detailing Emily's double life. The deeper I delve, the more I realize the extent of her betrayal, not just to me, but to everyone around her. Determined, I start mapping out her network, identifying key players and potential vulnerabilities. Each discovery fuels my resolve, turning my heartbreak into a strategic pursuit of justice or vengeance. The lines between right and wrong blur as I navigate the murky waters of Emily's world, but there's no turning back now. Later that night, I receive another message, meeting at midnight. More information. The cycle of danger continues, but I embrace it. With each step, I'm drawing closer to the truth and the retribution I crave. As I prepare for the next meeting, I reflect on how far I've come. The man I once was, trusting, loving, believing in the sanctity of marriage, has transformed into someone driven by a singular purpose. Emily's betrayal has not only shattered my life but has also forged a new identity built on determination and a thirst for vengeance. The city sleeps unaware of the war brewing in its shadows, a war that will consume everything in its path. And at the center of it all stands me, a man betrayed, ready to reclaim his life by any means necessary. The hum of the city echoes in my ears as I sit in my car, engine off, staring at the clock. It's 11:45 p.m., and the streets are mostly deserted, save for the occasional car that speeds past, oblivious to the storm that's about to unfold. My fingers drum impatiently on the steering wheel. My mind races with thoughts of Emily, the woman I thought I knew. Now I'm sitting in the dark, waiting for a faceless informant to help me take her down. The weight of the USB drive in my pocket serves as a reminder of what I've already uncovered. The files on Emily are deep, deeper than I imagined. Offshore accounts, coded transactions, shady business dealings. She wasn't just living a double life, she was running an empire built on lies and deception. The deeper I dig, the more I understand, this isn't just about betrayal, it's about survival. And right now, I need to know more. Midnight strikes, and right on cue, a black SUV pulls up in the alley. The headlights cut through the darkness, briefly illuminating the cracked brick walls and the piles of trash in the corners. A tall, broad man steps out, his face obscured by the brim of his hat. His movements are calm, calculated. I exit my car slowly, my hand never leaving my pocket where I keep my gun. We meet halfway between our vehicles, the tension between us thick in the cool night air. "You're John, right?" His voice is low, gravelly, much like Sarah's was, but there's an edge to it. Dangerous. "Yeah. And you are?" He chuckles softly, but there's no warmth in it. "Names don't matter. What matters is that you want revenge. I'm here to help you do that." I keep my distance, my eyes locked on him. "Why would you help me?" He shrugs. "I've got my reasons. Let's just say Emily's burned a lot of bridges, and I'm one of the ones holding a match." The words hit me hard. So it's true, Emily's betrayal extends far beyond me. She's been playing a dangerous game with powerful people. This man is just another casualty in her web of deceit. "Fine," I say, my voice steady. "What do you know?" He glances around, then motions toward his SUV. "Get in. We can't talk out here." I hesitate for a second before following him, my hand still on my gun. I'm not about to walk into a trap. Inside the SUV, the atmosphere is thick with tension. He starts the engine, but doesn't move the vehicle. Instead, he pulls out a tablet and hands it to me. The screen flickers to life, showing surveillance footage of Emily and Marcus, my wife and the man who destroyed my life. In the footage, they are sitting in what looks like a dingy backroom, discussing a job. I recognize it immediately, the night of the robbery. I listen to their conversation, my stomach twisting into knots as I hear Emily's voice. "This is the last one, Marcus," she says. "After this, we're gone. We disappear, and no one will ever find us." Marcus leans in, his voice low but confident. "You know I'll do anything for you." But what about him? I know without hearing it that he's talking about me. Emily pauses, her eyes narrowing. He's too soft. He'll never see it coming. I slam the tablet down, fury surging through me. She's been planning this for months, I mutter. She was going to leave me for him. The man in the driver's seat doesn't flinch. Emily has always been 2 steps ahead. She's smart, but she's also reckless. She didn't account for you catching on. I grit my teeth, my hands trembling with anger. What do you want from me? He leans back, his eyes dark. You want to destroy her, right? Take everything from her, just like she took from you. I nod. More than anything. Good. He smirks, a cold, calculating look. Then listen carefully. Emily isn't just a thief. She's in deep with a network, one that moves a lot of money and has a lot of power. If you want to bring her down, you'll need more than just revenge. You'll need to dismantle everything she's built. I clench my fists. Tell me what to do. He reaches into the glove compartment and pulls out a file, thick with documents. In here, you'll find everything you need. Bank accounts, contact information, coded messages. This is the blueprint to her downfall. I grab the file and flip through it, my heart racing. This is it. The key to ending everything she's built, everything she's hidden from me. But then, I pause. Why give this to me? What's in it for you? He smirks again. Emily's made enemies, and I'm one of them. But I'm not the kind of guy who gets his hands dirty. That's where you come in. I glare at him. So, you're just using me? He shrugs. Call it what you want. But at the end of the day, we both get what we want. You get your revenge, and I get Emily out of the picture. It's a win-win. I sit back, the weight of everything sinking in. This isn't just about me anymore. I'm caught in a much bigger game, one that's spiraling out of control. But there's no turning back. I've come too far to stop now. I stare out the window, my mind racing with the possibilities. When do we start? The man grins, the kind of grin that sends chills down your spine. We already have. As I leave the SUV and head back to my car, I can't shake the feeling that I'm playing with fire. But the fire is already consuming everything around me. I grip the steering wheel, my knuckles white. My heart pounds as I realize the depth of the betrayal I've uncovered. This is just the beginning. Emily has no idea what's coming for her. The first move is mine, but the endgame? That belongs to both of us. As I drive away into the night, the weight of the file on the passenger seat reminds me that the next steps won't be easy. But one thing is certain, Emily's carefully constructed world is about to crumble. And I'll be the one holding the match. The city skyline twinkles under the cloak of night as I sit alone in my dimly lit apartment, the weight of the file from the SUV pressing heavily on my lap. Every piece of information, every secret Emily and Marcus hid, is now mine to wield. The lines between justice and vengeance blur, but my purpose is clear, to dismantle everything Emily built and ensure she pays for her betrayal. My phone buzzes with a new message, meet at the abandoned pier. 2 a.m. Come alone. No name, no indication of who sent it. My instincts scream caution, but the need for answers pushes me forward. I glance at the clock, 1:45 a.m. Time is short. I gather the necessary tools, a flashlight, a silenced pistol, and the USB drive containing Emily's darkest secrets. The streets are eerily silent as I drive towards the PA, the only sounds the distant hum of traffic and the crashing waves against the shore. The abandoned pier looms ahead, its silhouette a ghostly reminder of forgotten times. Parking a few blocks away, I proceed on foot, each step echoing in the stillness. The pier is deserted, the wooden planks creaking under my weight. I approach the designated meeting spot, a derelict office at the end of the pier. The door hangs slightly ajar, inviting yet threatening. I push the door open cautiously, the interior dimly lit by a single, flickering bulb. A figure steps into the light, Sarah. Her expression is tense, eyes darting nervously. "John," she whispers, urgency lacing her voice. "We don't have much time." "What's going on?" I demand, stepping closer. "Who sent the message?" Before she can answer, the door slams shut, and masked men flood the room, weapons drawn. My heart races as I realize this was a trap. "Surprise, John," a cold voice echoes from the shadows. It's Marcus, his eyes devoid of the warmth I once knew. "Did you really think you could take Emily down without anyone getting hurt?" I raise my pistol, aiming it at Marcus. "This ends now." "Let me go, Sarah." Marcus smirks, a twisted grin that sends chills down my spine. "Oh, she won't let you go." "Not until you understand the full extent of her plans." Suddenly, Emily steps forward, her presence commanding. "John, please," she implores, her voice breaking the tension. "It doesn't have to end like this." I shake my head, anger boiling over. "You lied to me." "About everything." Emily's eyes soften, but there's a steely resolve behind them. "I did what I had to do. To protect us, to protect our future." Before I can respond, the room erupts into chaos. Bullets fly as the masked men engage me, the room turning into a battleground. I duck behind a table, firing back with precision. Sarah is beside me, her sharpshooting keeping the attackers at bay. "John, we need to end this," she shouts over the gunfire. "She's manipulating everyone." I nod, determination hardening my resolve. I'm not stopping until she's finished. Amidst the firefight, I catch a glimpse of Emily pulling a gun from her waistband. "John, stop," she yells, desperation evident in her voice. But there's no turning back. Every betrayal, every lie fuels my rage. I fire a final shot, disarming Emily and forcing her to the ground. She looks up at me, tears mixing with defiance. "Why?" I demand, stepping over her. "Why all the deception?" Emily's facade crumbles, revealing the truth. "You were never meant to be a part of this, John. I needed you out of the picture to protect what I built." In that moment, the full scope of her betrayal hits me. She wasn't just cheating on me, she was orchestrating a complex web of deceit, using me as an unwitting pawn in her grand scheme. The shock stings, but it's quickly replaced by a burning need for retribution. I grab her by the collar, my grip tight. "You took everything from me." With a swift, brutal motion, I strike her, the finality of the act sinking in as she collapses. The room falls silent, the remaining attackers either incapacitated or fleeing. Breathing heavily, I stand over Emily, the reality of what I've done washing over me. Sarah approaches cautiously, her face pale. "It's over, John. You did what you had to do." I glance at her, the remnants of our alliance now nothing more than ash. "No, Sarah. It's just the beginning. I'm done being used, done trusting anyone who's been deceiving me." She nods, understanding the finality in my words. "Take care of yourself." Without another word, I leave the PA, the first light of dawn breaking on the horizon. The city awakens around me, unaware of the night's violence and the end of a twisted chapter. As I drive away, the adrenaline fades, leaving behind a hollow emptiness. Emily is gone, but so is the part of me that once believed in us. Weeks pass, and the aftermath of that night settles into a grim routine. The police investigations conclude with little evidence tying me to the events at the pier. Sarah disappears, her role in the deception finally laid bare. I find solace in solitude, the pain of betrayal a constant companion. One evening, as I sift through the remnants of my shattered life, a letter arrives. It's from Emily, penned before our final confrontation. My hands tremble as I open it, the words revealing a layer of deception I never anticipated. "John. If you're reading this, it means things have spiraled beyond my control. I never wanted to hurt you, but the choices I made were for a greater purpose. Perhaps one day, you'll understand the sacrifices required for the path I chose. Goodbye." The letter stings, a final acknowledgement of her betrayal and the irrevocable distance between us. I realize then that our lives have diverged irreparably, bound by hatred and the scars of deception. As I place the letter on the table, I understand that revenge, while satisfying, has left me empty. The cycle of betrayal and retribution has consumed us both, leaving nothing but ashes of what once was. I walk away from the letter, stepping into a future where the only path forward is to rebuild myself from the ruins of trust broken. The sun rises, casting a golden hue over the city, symbolizing a new beginning. I take a deep breath, the first true sense of peace I've felt in months washing over me. The hatred and betrayal may forever mark my past, but they no longer define my future. Emily is gone, and with her, the life we once shared. Our paths have irrevocably parted, each of us haunted by the choices that led to our downfall. But in the silence of the morning, I find the strength to let go, leaving behind the shadows of vengeance to embrace a new dawn.